Welcome back to another 506 garage. So today we're working on the X3, as you can see. I'm gonna install the shock therapy TLS kit. So conventionally what they tell you to do is take the hub off and drill it out on the bench. But first I'm gonna try to take this bolt out and see if I can drop the arm a little bit and actually just drill it out on the bike. Wish me luck. It may work, may not. And if it doesn't, then I'll take the hub off and do it the other way. But so as I go, I'll explain a little more about what this is. But if you own an X3, it's probably not a bad investment. Shipping, everything, I think it was like 150 bucks, 160 bucks to my door. So definitely save you some hubs. Okay, so with my setup, with my drill, the drill eventually touches here, which will make it so you can't drill all the way through. You can see I start it and then got to the point where it went to start to touch and I just stopped. So what I'm gonna do, I'll pop the axle cap off, pull the axle out, brake, hub, and yeah, we'll get at that. And what I'll do, I'll lay out the tools that I use on the bench at the end. So I'm just drilling the hub out now. I did have to take it off. You can see where it's stepped in there with the step bit that they supplied at 3/4 of an inch. I just, being cautious, I double checked, made sure that the stainless steel bushing is actually 3/4 of an inch, just with a micrometer. It's pretty close, so I think there is supposed to be some, like, it's not pressed in by any means, it's not an interference fit. So drill the hole in this, and then see, I took the bike apart. And yeah, I'll walk you through some of the tools I needed to do this. And once I get the hole drilled, I'm gonna put the spacer back in and bolt it back up and torque it all down. Hopefully we never have to worry about it again. The hole is all drilled. One other thing, I guess, to keep in mind with this kit, there's two, the spacers have two different, one's flat, one's got a recess in it. This recessed one actually goes to your toe link. This one here just goes flat to a washer and then to the nut. So make sure this goes on the inside like that, and this goes on the outside. So that way when your toe link comes up against it, it meshes into that groove. They do give you a little bit of 262 Loctite, which would be red Loctite. They recommend you put on it on a little bit on the spacers themselves when you put them in, just to secure them, because the drill bit, when you do drill anything, it is a tad oversized to 3/4. Like you can see a little bit of play in it. You get that with any drill. The only way to get rid of that is just bore the hole and press them in, but I don't think that's how they intended this to go, since they supplied the drill bit. So you just put the Loctite in, then slide your two spacers in and put the hub back on the car. The other side, I'm going to try again a little different technique. I'm going to try to do it on the car and instead of taking it all apart. It doesn't take all apart, it's about 15 minutes, but just see if I can do it the other way. Okay, so just a quick overview of some of the tools. Pretty basic tools other than your impact gun, I guess. So 19 mil to take the lug nuts off, which I now have on my socket here. It's also 19 and 18 for these. The nuts are in the back. As you can see, and get the camera to focus there and down there. Then your two for your brake caliper to come off are 15 mil. And then last but not least, the 30 mil on the axle nut. The axle nut, when you pull that off, you just pull this out, comes off the splines. Well, you got to take your brake caliper off first, then your axle nut off the splines, and then unbolt your, if you're removing the hub, unbolt your arms which are right there, and just pull it out. What I did, I just slid the bolt back far enough in the arms, other than obviously the one we're changing down here, but the two up top just back far enough that this arm didn't actually drop into place, but just let the hub free. And then to put it back on, it's not a bad idea when you got this all apart if you're to grease your wheel bearings. Unfortunately I don't have the tool to do that yet. I gotta order that. And also I noticed Can-Am does not put anti-seize in this hub spline, so I put some in it when I put it back together, just so you don't get any corrosion or anything in there, and then have lots of fun trying to take the axle out in the future. So yeah, snug this up and snug all the stuff up, then I will torque it all. I'll get the torque specs to you guys, torque it all, and then what I'm going to try to do on this one is just unbolt the center again and actually pull the hub out some so I can drill into it. We'll see if that works. So yeah, like I said, pretty basic hand tools, set of pliers, couple wrenches. You will need wrenches on here unless you got a super shallow socket just on the top here. Just a ratcheting wrench is all I used. And yeah, the impact gun and a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, just a little one to pop the cap off for the axle nut if you're going to take the hub right out. Hopefully we can do it without taking the hub out on that side. I'm going to try it that way as well. So as you can see on this side here, I unbolted the tow arm and just went around the brake caliper and this trailing arm, zip tied it tight, so I was able to angle it out past this hole here where my drill was getting hung up before, and it gives me lots of room to drill it. Biggest thing, if you're going to do it this way on the bike, obviously it's quicker, don't have to take as much stuff apart, but the thing to keep in mind is you want to get nice and straight with that drill. So you don't want to be drilling at any angle. You want to try to get as straight as possible. Like I said, it's not before, it's not a press fit by any means, so you know, if you're off a little bit, it probably won't matter too much. There is some play in the tow arm, and there is some play between the drill bit and the sleeve that they press in, but that's the biggest thing to keep in mind if you're going to do it this way, is to get as close and keep it as straight as possible while you're drilling it in. And then to make sure that you get all these shavings cleaned off your bike before you put it back together, because you don't want any of those rubbing up against. You don't want aluminum rubbing into around any bearing surfaces or any arms where they bolt together, or even getting in with your brake pads and stuff like that.